My name is Datsunami.
And I'm Selena. This is a bi-monthly podcast where we discuss the various aspects of sex work, from the sensual to the political.
So, welcome to Pay for Play.
Hi everyone. Today we are literally just going to rant because we're angry. Because Twitter, are you surprised?
I mean, it's Twitter, so...
So, I was scrolling about my day. It was a pretty enjoyable day at that before I came across John Halo, whoever this might be, who made a tweet saying sex workers when they turn 25 and lose all their customers, and insert meme reaction here, literally anyone you want. So today we're basically going to be talking about why customers for sex workers majority fetishize young looking people.
Yep. So full disclosure.
How gross that is.
Full disclosure, while you are 21, something like that?
I'm 20.
I'm 31. So, like, there's a big difference between how you and I are treated in general.
Yeah.
And it's because people, like, fetishize younger looking people. And it's kind of creepy, honestly.
Yeah, there's like two ways to think about this. One, I would be willing to bet 75% of sex workers are over 25 years old and make way more money than I do.
Yep.
I mean, not that they make more money than anybody who looks young, but a good portion of people who pay for sex workers who look like adults. And then number two, there is still a growing issue of people who are paying sex workers because they don't look like adults. And I feel like this is a thing that could easily lead into people. I mean, like the sex trafficking of minors only exists because there's people who want to have sex with minors. Yep. But, I mean, with this happening in actual legal adult industries, I feel like just kind of leans, is an attempt to make fetishizing younger people more socially acceptable, which it has in a way, as you see a very strong community of people like this online that like to almost constantly talk about how women are hit a wall, as a lot of them like to say, at certain ages, which they've been lowering consistently as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like in the tweet, they say 25, but it wasn't even a year ago that people were memeing about if women turn 30, they've hit the wall. So, like,
yeah, no,
how much lower is it going to get that we're all okay with joking about?
This isn't even just a sex worker issue either. Like, actresses deal with this as well. Actresses in, well, basically any movie, television, any industry that is based somewhat on film or taking photos, that's what happens. Modeling, this is a huge issue in modeling.
And these people the people who do this are also capitalizing by trying to prey on younger and younger people, which is increasingly easier to do with the internet nowadays. The fact that this is where a huge chunk of the industry is now, or a big chunk of the industry is now trying to favor towards, with like titles like teen and young or schoolgirl, stuff like that. There's no ceasing to people trying to just open up to this market because they think they can get good money off of it, and not thinking about the repercussions that can come from normalizing younger people.
Yeah, I know even I'm sure you have, but even I don't look 30 necessarily, and I want to say that's mostly because HRT is a wonderful, wonderful age-reducing. But, like, I don't look 30. I don't look 30, 31. Most people think I'm, like, 24, 23, something like that. Even then, I I have gotten requests for people wanting me to act like...
Age play is so weird.
It's so weird.
And oddly common. And it's just, and then people play into it because they know that's what people want and what sells good.
Yeah, it's...
Which it does. It is probably, I'm sure if you look at top 10 categories or anything like that, somewhere is going to be teen or just over 18 or like,
barely legal.
Like, I'm having a porn star interview because I just turned 18 and this is what I want to do. Like,
yeah, there's a reason, like...
with like a 25-year-old actress, too. It's like, none of this is... it's just not okay. We wouldn't do, because we're not doing it with we wouldn't do it with actual just turned 18-year-olds, obviously, because we don't. So why would we want to make content like that or try to appease this weird fringe group of people that we should not be trying to make feel like this is okay?
Like, even when I was a kid, like, you know, quote unquote early days of the internet, like, do you know what the most searched stuff was? Barely legal. Casting couch 18, stuff like that. Like, this has been a thing people, constantly, but it's more prevalent today, I think.
I think it has definitely been on a rise, especially with obviously more people making more content, and I don't really want to blame individual sex workers for titling their videos in suggestive ways like that, but
Turns out we are all slaves to the algorithm.
But yeah, and I mean that's going to go up on higher levels, like corporately on these websites that allow that to be a thing, because there are plenty of blocked title names. Like there's a whole list whenever you start doing these things that you can't use, words you can't use in your title. I don't know why we can't include minor or barely, like, you know, just all of that stuff. I don't know why that would be so difficult, but I do know why, and it's because it makes money. But
yeah, well, the thing is, it's largely, I feel, at least, it's I don't mind if you commodify your sexuality. It's the commodification of youth is what it is. Like, people value youth, and also people really love taboo stuff. So some of the...
That literally puts them both together.
Yeah, that puts it...
like...
Yeah, it's the same reason, like, trans porn is really big.
Because, oh my gosh, you're interested
taboo.
in a trans person?
Yeah, like, it's a taboo.
Like, yeah, that's the whole thing.
Another one would be, like, there's, like, a large thing for, like, incest porn, which is, you know, oh, no, my stepbrother, or, it's the taboo, along with our commodification of youth and younger people, and it all comes together in this kind of...
Exactly.
Well, with this, as soon as you hit 25, well, you just aren't worth it. And it's a problem with... It's not just a problem in sex industry. Like I said, it's a problem in modeling. Like, I wanted to do some modeling, but I am technically too old for it, because what people look for are not people in their 30s, more like people in their early 20s. Movies, if you're an actress, and it's specifically for women for the most part. Generally, I don't see this with men or masculine being like non-binary people. It's generally AFAB people or feminine presenting people in general.
I mean, I just saw a tweet a few days ago where some guy was like, men age like fine wine and women age like cheese or like milk or something like that. And I know that there's not much you can do. Like, it's going to take a while to change society's mind on viewing women. Like, after a certain point, they're just like worthless. But it's really annoying.
Yeah, no, it is.
So I will rant about it.
Yeah, no, and honestly, I think everyone gets more attractive the older they get. Like,
yeah, I just, because I mean, this market won't exist if you don't pander to it anymore.
Yeah, so I guess that
like, eventually at some point we won't need to make porn titles like that if you just like completely cut off that market.
Yeah, no, I would love to just title the couple of videos that I may put out as trans girl takes shower, or something a little bit less safe for work than that. But, like, instead of having to go, like, hot, co-ed, trans slur, whatever, like...
And, I mean, even on the same topic, I can't imagine what it must be like to be, like, a person of color who's a sex worker
God.
and having people ask you for race play stuff, because
Yeah.
I'm not even a person of color, and I have been asked for race play things several times, and, I mean, you obviously say no, but you have to think someone is out there asking for this.
Yeah, and I'm lucky I've never had that. I've never had that
And there's
experience.
also people out there that play into it, which I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, like I said, I know, like, I've seen the way you've titled some of your stuff, and it's because it's what sells, and it's what's, the algorithm, but it's like, we should not have to do that to sell our work. Let's not encourage this. I guess, what do you think we should do about it, though? Like, what's the thing? Do you just...
Well, it does get tricky there, because then people are like, well, I can't just, like, title stuff however I want, or I just can't look up whatever I want, or what if I just want to make this content? But I do think that since these websites that people run on are also private corporations like Twitter or YouTube, there can definitely be some kind of, I don't want to say censorship, because it's very specifically aimed with literally edging on illegal content.
Yeah, and we don't want to do that.
So there would have to be a very big debate about if people can post race play or something, because technically it's not illegal or stuff like that. But focusing on the underage stuff right now,
yeah,
I think there's definitely things you can do by taking certain things, like not allowed in your titles, like teen, or just other things along those lines, certain phrases that aren't allowed, because it's already like that.
So, just to give you the other side of the argument, I guess, it's, well, an 18-year-old can just do porn. Like, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yes, of course, there's nothing wrong with that, and if people want to buy from them, that's also fine, but the fact that it's so heavily focused that even people who are not 18 have to make content where they pretend to be 18.
Yeah, no, I get that. My issue would be something along the lines of, if you're trying to, like, oh, you can't use teen, well, now you've cut off all teenagers who are doing porn. But that's a nuanced thing.
And then we'd have to get into the what age should an adult be, which it seems like as laws have been going on, society is leaning more towards 21 being the age for someone to be a legal adult in the United States. So at some point, having teen might not even be something that's legal.
Well,
so
that is a much larger debate.
That is a very big rant.
That is not one I am prepared for today. I think it's actually just has to do with it's the way society in general just treats, well, I guess, women in general. Women are commodities. They are only good for a certain amount of time. And a lot of it is tied to, well, to be frank, like, toxic masculinity and this, like, the guy has to be number one. If you're not with some young woman, you aren't worth anything, and that drives that. So I think.
So you think it might better to treat this from, like, a media point of view, like what's society putting out there right now?
I think
that's making
what
people
it needs to
decide.
do. I think what actually needs to happen is that we need to fight via education or via just the types of media we put out. And this isn't even just porn. Like, this is, like, maybe we should have shows and especially, like, cartoons and stuff that teenagers would watch that shows, the downsides of toxic like, promotes healthy masculinity, promotes healthy understanding of women, and tries to shift the lens away from this whole, you have to be with some young person. And I think we need to shift it culturally like that, and that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, that'll be pretty complicated. Or, well, I mean, I think it will be addressed, and is sort of easy in a hard way, I guess is a way to say it, to address like the showing it in shows and stuff. I think the one thing that would be hard is like how I think in all of human existence, like people searching for immortality or something to keep them young forever. Like I feel like that's a thing that will exist in society for a really long time that would need worked out. Yes.
Yeah, that's a thing, but maybe don't. What I mean is like stop all your heroines, everyone that you see on screen who is quote unquote good and pure or something like that are often your like young heroines who do no wrong, and all the older people are your evil, your power hungry, etc. Maybe balance that out. Like again.
Oh, that is a very good thing to look at. How the villain is always usually very old.
Yeah, like there's a large amount of ways we can do it, and again, part of it is also just fighting. I mean, it's feminism, like fighting toxic masculinity, promoting healthy masculinity, and also fighting toxic femininity, because that's a thing. Like promoting a healthy look on bodies and on the value of people, and trying to. I know it's odd because again we're talking sex work and the focus is on our bodies, but trying to kind of take the value away from how you look and, just beauty standards as we have them today, and try and normalize them for, most people. Mine and your beauty standards, like, I know for a fact I don't match up to, the ideal beauty standards. I don't even think you and
no.
I consider you
very few people do. I mean, including most models who are in the ads that we're referring to with this. I mean, most of it's photoshopped. There's been so many complaints about that because they're like, why isn't my body good enough that you still have to Photoshop it even on these covers, which is a problem.
So if we fight that stuff, then slowly, I mean, it's not a thing we can fix, immediately, but it's something we can fix slowly over time and hopefully move us away from that, because people shouldn't think that, you turn 25, well, your career's over. Like, that's not a thing that should happen.
And I feel like the title words and stuff like that, and a more stronger monitoring on content. I don't mean monitoring, like everything has to go through a social worker who then you can post it, and it can't have anything slightly bad. But I mean just like maybe more attention to because there is very much, as you can see with Pornhub, zero attention on what people post. So I'm not saying that everything should be taken down or something like that. But I mean, if that could help run while we're working on our social views on these things.
One thing that might be able to help, if you wanted to go that route, is have everyone verify. Verify that you are above 18.
That's something we've talked about before.
Use that verification and go, okay, if you are 20 years old and younger, I just use 20 because it's an arbitrary number, but if you're 20 years old and younger, you can use the teen label. If you're not, you're going to have to find some other way of doing it. You cannot use minor. Just, no, we do not allow that. We don't want to encourage that. It's kind of the same way
I feel like minor, even for teens, should not be used anywhere on a
exactly.
Site. Like teen is definitely more of a gray, more okay area, but minor itself is obviously an illegal statement.
Yeah, and I also feel this way about, like, no, I shouldn't, like, I don't think I should be able to use a slur when referring to stuff that I put out there. because that hurts. So, I mean, it's these small ways, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who would disagree with that, but it's these small ways that help promote other ways of viewing things. Because for sex workers, a lot of it is viewed through the lens of what you see. So for like people of color who perform sex work, a lot of that stuff is hella racist. Like a lot of it is, especially with like guys, they are depicted horribly in a lot of porn, and that shapes the view of people who consume that.
It does. People think it's basic because it's just something you watch, maybe not even every day, but your sexual views really strongly influence how you see other people.
It's kind of the same reason that, like, I really hate most commercial trans porn. Like, it's horrible because it shows a very, very different view of someone like me. Or even, like, lesbian porn. Like, you can tell lesbian porn is almost always made for straight dudes, because as a lesbian, that is not how I have sex. So
yeah, I would have to agree there. I did make a video with another woman at one point, and it was definitely not for either of us.
Yeah. So it's kind of like...
It was for the $500.
Right, yeah, no. So, like, I know it's a small thing, but promoting these types of changes actually does help. And it doesn't just help sex workers, it helps society overall. Of course, this is a thing that, while it's still profitable to do, it's, gonna be done. But, we are both very against capitalism, so, I think we know the root cause, we're working on it. But yeah, no, like, that's what I see, though, is you promote better beauty standards, you promote better, just better views of people, and this starts to go away. You're always going to have the people who are like, ooh, you're barely legal, that's taboo. But, like, if we can move away from promoting that as something that people have to do to make money, the problem lessens. Make it profitable while we live under capitalism. Make it profitable for a 30-year-old, a 40-year-old, even a 50-year-old to get on camera and do their job without having to pretend to be younger than they are.
And people may say something like, well, what if I don't want to jerk off to a 50-year-old? And it's like, well, you don't have to, but the fact that the people who host these videos actively promote barely legal teen videos over anything else, which other people still pay for and like, not a bigger majority than the people who like children. So, that's not even a point at all.
Yeah, like, I don't know. That's my solution. Do you have any other thoughts?
Nope, that's it for me.
See, and you thought we were only going to rant for like 10 minutes and be done.
Where are we at?
Like 25, something like that. Like, you get us together, we will rant constantly. So, alright, until our next episode, my name is Selena.
I'm Datsunami.
We'll see you later.
See you later.
Thank you for listening to Pay for Play.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to support us, please give us a follow and share us around. You can follow us on Twitter at pay_for_play, where you can find more information on the topics that we talk about and links to our resources.
We appreciate each and every listener. Until next time.